Welcome to Green Living with Tea. Today we are talking about sleep. And it is a subject that I hear all the time from people that are having trouble sleeping, staying asleep, going to sleep. And today we are talking to Lucas Vegvari, and he is the founder of My Custom Sleep Journey. Very excited to talk to him today because this is a topic that is constantly brought up in my circle of trying to help people figure out why they can't sleep. And there's so many different, unfortunately, there's so many different medications out there that people are using to try to go to sleep. But we're going to talk with Lucas in length at um, Custom Sleep Journey, his founder, as I said. And it's the only high performance coaching system tailored to sleep and recovery needs of night shift medical professionals. And after he worked years of grueling night shifts in the oil refinery business and witnessed the damage of sleep disruption firsthand, he ended up losing 120 pounds and rebuilt his health using science-backed strategies. He now coaches healthcare workers nationwide using his five key pillars approach, which is nutrition, supplementation, exercise, caffeine timing, and mindset optimization to help them sleep deeper, recover faster, and thrive in a demanding profession. And as we all know, sleep is one of the most important things that we need every single day. They say 8 hours, but it is something so critical to our body recovering and also detoxing from all the things that it comes across during the day. So, Lucas, without further ado, welcome.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction. I
Ye-
appreciate that. T.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, you have a very interesting backstory, and I love the backstories of everybody and how people got to where they are today because it defines who you are and how you took this journey into helping people figure out their sleep journey. And it is such a, I think it is such a big issue right now with all people of all ages. And it's kind of a little scary because people are trying, there's so many different things to take out there
Mhm.
that not a lot of it is even regulated. You don't know where it's coming from. But really, I wish people would think more about the root cause of why they're not being able to stay asleep, fall asleep, whatnot. But let's dive in a little bit because give everybody a little bit of your background and how you got there and when you were working in the oil refineries because you found out the hard way.
Mhm. Yeah. So as I was growing up, I grew up in a typical American household that used a lot of chemicals for cleaning, quite a few different chemical-based foods, processed foods, as is the norm in America for the most part. Growing up, I grew up on Cocoa Puffs and margarine and a lot of the other very processed foods as I was growing up. And so I had quite a few different health conditions as I was growing up. I had ADHD, I had asthma. I started becoming obese when I was around 16, and it took me almost I would say 8 years to start my weight loss journey. But during that time, I was this very sickly. I was completely out of it. My brain wasn't functioning properly. I had major memory gaps as far as my childhood, and I realized that I really had to do something about it. Especially once I started working at the oil refineries, because I started realizing that it was kind of a life or death situation if I didn't get my mind together. And so I went through around a 12-year journey of actually losing weight.
Wow.
And so it was a lot of different layers that I had to realize what was going on with my system. And there's no magic bullet that fixes everyone. Everybody's looking for that magic key bullet.
Mhm.
I looked for it for so long and I tried so many different strategies And I was like, oh, that doesn't work. And so I would switch to another one. And what I found out after a good period of time is that like balance is the most critical thing that we need to have in our system. We need to be able to exercise. We need to be able to have the right mindset and be patient with ourselves and understand that everything's going to happen in layers. The way that we release these toxins and the way that we release weight or we release emotions, it's not all at once. And it's things that we do need to pay attention to because our body will give us the check engine light. A lot of the time, it'll say, okay, yeah, I feel heartburn. I feel stomach discomfort. This means that you're doing something wrong. And a lot of us will be like, okay, well, I'll just take something to suppress that emotion or that feeling or that sensation. And unfortunately, that's not really the best way to deal with it because our bodies are trying to communicate with us and being in tune with what we're dealing with at the current time and being in the present moment and this being aware of what's happening can help us to start to identify the things that are going wrong. And so this getting back to more of a whole foods diet, exercising regularly, getting sunlight, doing what our ancestors used to do before all of these diseases were prevalent that we're dealing with these days is absolutely critical for regaining our health. So that's basically what that was the precursor to me building out the program for my custom sleep journey is I had to go through these different health conditions and all of these problems myself, figure out the solutions to them, do the research on it, why I was having these problems in the first place, and how it was affecting my overall night shift program that I was doing for myself at the oil refineries when I was working there. And then I started working with medical practitioners after I had done thorough testing on the process. And yeah, we've been working for 3 years to create my custom sleep journey program where we help to rebalance people's lives and bring them back to their best self so that they can be present with their family, so that they're not having malpractice situations happen as often. Yeah, just being more aware and conscious about our movements and how we live.
Yeah, and you said something really important here. Pay attention to your check engine light. Our cars have a check engine light, but they don't have a doctor putting a pill in the check in the engine. They have somebody looking at it and figuring out what the root cause of that problem is. And unfortunately, we have pharmaceutical industry that is bombarding us with medicine. I'm not saying it's all bad, but it is basically ruling the medical world because the medical community has been trained to give us medicine, not try to figure out what's wrong with us and how to take the steps to checking that engine and figuring out what the root cause is. So I'm so glad you brought that up because I always bring up the analogy of a car as well. Our cars, I think, get treated better than our bodies sometimes, but that's for a whole nother subject. What today I want to talk about your journey and how you went from the night shifts to how you've shaped the five key pillar methodology. You had to go through something where you got to that because it's fascinating to me what you've been through and then how you are taking what you learned, what you did to your own entire self-being, and then how you're helping other people.
No, absolutely. Yeah, so our five key pillars were based off of the main five key subject matters that I was able to identify that had the biggest impact on really humans in general. And I
Mhm.
dialed it in specifically for medical practitioners, but it does work for all humans. And is so if you're eating a whole foods diet, that's the first thing that I would suggest that people start doing, like right away. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, this is the time, realistically, because it's actually difficult to even find healthy, clean food these days. But at the same time, like your body will appreciate it so much if you go the extra mile and you go ahead and go to your farmer's market and you go to at least a Whole Foods or something along those lines and make sure that you're just getting cleanly sourced foods that don't have a ton of chemicals in them. Um, that's the first part, and then supplementation is obviously extremely important because our soils are depleted right now, and the mineral content that was naturally in them isn't something that's naturally found in them a lot of the time these days. So that's extremely important. And then we have exercise, making sure that we have like a robust muscle system and that our bones are dense and that we're actually continuing to move forward and be our strongest self as we move forward. Because if we're soft and we're brittle, then when something comes for us, like a virus or some kind of a bacterial infection or something like that, either the body's going to kick it out or it's going to really suffer and break down. And
Mm.
so, yeah, that's extremely important. And then caffeine intake and timing. This affects everybody's sleep patterns. Everybody has a different caffeine window as far as their when it affects them towards their bedtime. And so the average is between like 4 to 6 hours is that you can consume caffeine before bedtime before it actually affects you. But it can be as much as 10 to 12 hours for some people. And so if you're going to sleep at 9 o'clock, that means that it could affect you if you stop at like 10 o'clock or even 9 o'clock, it could still affect you during the nighttime. And so a lot of people are drinking it all day because they're short on energy because they're not
Mm.
taking care of their system. So yeah,
Vicious cycle, right?
it's a super vicious cycle, and yeah, it also deals with like the type of caffeine that you're taking in as well. And this comes back to what you study and what you talk about is the toxins. And so we have like mycotoxins and molds that are a lot of the time found in dirty brands of coffee based off of the way that they roast the beans. And these can affect the immune system. They can affect inflammation in the system, memory, overall mental energy, and that can be extremely difficult. It's also the second most pesticide-ridden crop next
Mm.
to chocolate. And so that's something that should be taken into account so that you're making sure you're getting a clean brand that guarantees that it's pesticide free. And then the last pillar is mindset, is just making sure that you have the mindset for to be robust in the program that you put together for yourself, that you commit to the things that are the must-haves that you're guaranteed you're going to do. And I always have my must-haves that in my day that make my day smooth and make it so that I can be my best self every day.
What are your must-haves?
Oh, okay. For me personally,
Yeah.
I truly need meditation
Mm.
and I need to move my body. I run kind of high testosterone because I do a lot of calisthenics. I do a decent amount of yoga every day. And so this is my recovery time. I know it sounds like it's kind of counterintuitive the way you would think about that, that exercise would be something that would deplete you. And at the beginning, when you first start exercising, a lot of the time it can kind of sap your energy a little bit, but after a while, your body's like, oh, this is something that I need. I'm used to my
Mm.
circulation being healthy and feeling good. And you feel that mental pump that goes through your brain where it's like, okay, we're firing on all cylinders today and we're ready because you got the circulation moving, you have the blood moving through the brain. And yeah, it feels really good overall. I would say also making sure that I'm prepping for my bedtime, that I'm not exposing myself to quote dirty light during
Mm.
the evening hours, which would mean fluorescent lights. I wear blue blocking glasses. Not all blue blocking glasses are built equally either. So if you can see spectrums of blue through the lens, that's a good way to know that your blue blockers aren't working very well. And so there's only like probably I'd say 10 or 15% of the blue blockers out there are actually of a high quality. So just making sure that you understand what you're buying is extremely critical. And I would say forgiveness. I know that sounds really super woo-woo, but forgiveness and gratitude for the things in our lives, because if you go to sleep with a heavy heart and you're extremely angry with someone, it's going to affect the way that you wake up the next day. It's going to affect the
For
way that your
sure.
body is able to continue to recover. It's such a complicated process, sleep. It's we still don't completely understand the way that the body recovers. We go through so many different detoxifications during the night, And yeah, it's something I don't think that we're going to ever fully map out the way that the body fully recovers during sleep, but it's definitely something to be respected.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on all of that. The blue light glasses, I just want you to clarify. Somebody might be like, what is he talking about, blue light glasses? Somebody might not know what that is.
Yeah, so blue light glasses, they block out certain spectrums of light. And so so during the daytime, like from usually like it's about an hour and a half after sunrise and an hour and a half before sun during sunset, you have this spectrum of light that's in the sky. That's a lot of blue spectrum. That means that it's telling your brain it's time to wake up. And so fluorescent lights are very high on the blue spectrum. And so if we're staring at our screens, which all iPhone screens and all of these different phone screens and tablets and computers, they all show a full spectrum of colors. And so a lot of that is the blue spectrum. And so if you're staring at a screen directly before you go to sleep, it's no wonder you're probably having a difficult time getting deep rest, that deep restorative rest, because your brain is telling you 2 or 3 hours still after you look at that screen that it's daytime and it's time to be awake because you were staring at something that's similar to daylight during that time. And so making sure that you have some kind of like an amber bulb in your room or a candle, God forbid, we go back to those days. But I do personally use a candle quite often. I appreciate it, and yeah, it's just it's important to this kind of start to tone down the light spectrums as
Hmm.
you're going to sleep to get that rest that you need.
Yep, absolutely. And if anybody's wondering, you can just Google these glasses that you can wear while you're on your computer screen. I wear them often during the day too. So I'll let everybody check that out. They're pretty easy to find that block out the blue rays. Are they called blue rays? Blue
It's a blue spectrum of light.
spectrum of light. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So, okay, what I want to talk about is, as you know, I love talking about environmental toxins and
Mhm.
chemical stressors and how these can disrupt one's sleep and how our oxidative stress and detoxification, particularly through I want to talk about your supplements too, and touch on all of that because this is one of the biggest things in my area of expertise that I try to get people to focus on especially with sleep, especially their pillows, their sheets, their room, what they're surrounding themselves with. But I'll let you talk about that since this is your field.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the main parts of our program is we actually do a virtual walkthrough of people's environments that they live in. And we have a checklist that we go through as our coaches do this virtual walkthrough. And so, natural bedding makes a big difference because it's not blocking off the oxygen from from our skin. Our skin breathes. It's part of our ecosystem of our overall body. And so by putting it in a plastic bag virtually, it's not a natural thing for our system. And our genetics have never been exposed to anything like that up until the last 70 or 80 years. And so all of our ancestors' genetics are playing such a key role in our gene expression, in the way that our overall bodies perform and move around through all of these different experiences that we live in this day and age. And so blackout curtains are another thing that we encourage people to do. Fresh air is another beautiful thing.
Mhm.
If we can have the window open behind the curtains, if it's not completely storming.
I'm in Buffalo. We sleep with our window, even a crack open all year long. So
Yes,
doesn't matter where you
exactly.
are.
Yeah, absolutely. And making sure that it's if it's possible not to have temperature regulation as far as having the temperature set, or if you are going to have it set so that it stays around like 65, 66 degrees at the warmest. Because your body actually, it's part of the recovery process and it's part of the awakening process. If you are exposed to the natural temperatures, that's the coolest time of the night is like early morning time. And so it'll naturally start to wake the body up during the natural time that you get up. And so it's a little bit trickier on the night shift, and I probably won't get into too many of the specifics of that. But making sure, yeah, that you just have a clean, aerated area while you're sleeping, making sure you have clean air is critical. If you're living in the middle of Los Angeles or New York, you might need an air filter that's in your room to be able to clean up the air a little bit. Um, yeah, so those are the main things. For supplements, I would say the biggest gold nugget that I can give people is NAC. Are you familiar with NAC?
I don't know if I am.
Okay. So the technical name for it is N-acetylcysteine, and
I feel
it
like I
is
do know this. Okay, go on.
so it's a precursor to glutathione, which is one of the
Okay.
body's master hormones.
Hmm.
And we absolutely have to have this. Like, if you have no glutathione, you're in deep trouble because it affects the immune system. It affects our liver's detoxification process. It affects our overall uh, kidney function, anything that's detoxing in the system, it requires NAC to, or not NAC, but glutathione to be able to process that. You can get a straight NA or glutathione as well as a supplement. It's not as effective and it's extremely expensive as well. And so NAC is just, it's very cheap and it's something that is within the grasp of everyone. And I just go with bulk supplements. It's a brand and I'm not affiliated by them or anything, but it's just a brand that provides pure NAC. Um, and so, yeah, that's the best one for detoxification that I'm aware of. Are you aware of some supplements that are in that same kind of gold nugget category?
Not really. I don't get into supplements too much. I refer on, to people that really have the expertise in it. So I don't have that experience in providing people with information on supplements. I have interviewed quite a few people on glutathione. NAC is something I've heard of, but I don't know enough about.
Hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Um,
How did you find out about NAC, or was this part of your training or your?
so I had black circles under my eyes, and I was curious. Like a lot of people, they'll have black circles under their eyes, and they'll blame it on genetics. They'll blame
Hmm.
it on the fact that they're just tired, whatever the reason is. The main cause for black circles under the eyes is you're having an issue with your liver. And it's actually a symptom that your body's not detoxing correctly. And so when I learned about this, I started learning that there were some practices that you could start to do to be able to help detoxify the liver. And yeah, the NAC, it works like a charm for me as far as making sure that I'm not having any kind of detoxification issues, and as well as with our clients when people do have the black circles under the eyes, even people who are getting short sleep, it starts to remedy that and it starts to lighten considerably when they go through that process. And so a lot of it was trial and error on my part at the beginning, and this kind of testing different doses, what felt good to me. I stayed in the safe range. They have ranges that you're supposed to stay in. I believe it's like a half a gram to a gram and a half per day that you can stay within that range. And yeah, it definitely can make a drastic difference. And by the way, I just want to give a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice. And yeah, talk to your doctor if you are concerned about something.
I'm curious if someone's thinking, oh, where do I get NAC? I know you mentioned the brand or something, but is
Yeah.
that, could they
Yeah, you
go
can just
to
order
Whole
it off of
Foods or
Amazon.
something?
You can just get it off
Okay,
of Amazon or eBay or yeah, sure, Whole Foods would
Whole
probably sell
Food.
that
That's
brand.
where I would trust. I would trust Whole Foods or a health food store because I don't know where these are, are any made overseas? Are they made here? So I would trust
Mhm.
Whole Foods. Well, if anybody's, well, not if you're listening to this podcast, you can't see what Lucas looks like. He is as healthy as they come. His skin is amazing. You are. I'm looking at you like, I can't believe you had black circles under your eyes. I can't believe you were 120 pounds heavier. I would only, I mean, it's amazing. I wish I saw the before and after to tell you the honest truth, because what I'm seeing after is absolutely amazing what how healthy he looks. So you're a true testament to what you have been helping people with through your program. And I'm sure you've helped dozens and dozens of people with their sleep strategy and whatnot. So I congratulate you on that. I'm curious what your symptoms were. Yeah, yes, you were overweight. Yes,
Mhm.
did you have anxiety? Were you tired all the time? Brain fog? What were some of the things that you saw and then the changes that helped you?
Yeah, it was a host of different issues. It almost could be conglomerated into some kind of a psychological disorder, but
Mm,
a lot of the time it's side effects that we're having from the lifestyle that we're living and the foods that we're
mhm,
consuming. And so I had major memory issues. I had ADHD as I was growing up, like I said. And so ADHD, I just wasn't interested in a lot of the things that were being taught. And so not being interested and having short-term memory on top of that is a heck of a compound to bring to the table when you're trying to go to school.
mm,
And so school is very, very difficult for me. Um, and so during my adult life, this has definitely improved drastically. I am also interested in the work that I'm doing. And so that makes a big difference when you are
mm.
interested and you are motivated by the style of work that you're talking about and that you're working with people. I find the reward in what I'm doing. And so that definitely gets me fired up every day to continue to do what I'm doing. I also, obviously, being overweight, I had issues with my joints.
Mm.
I had issues with breathing. I already had asthma at that time, which has completely eradicated itself. I
Wow.
won't say the the word that they won't let us say about things that have disappeared, but I definitely feel that they have been completely remedied for the most part healthily. And yeah, I would say that let's see, I would say digestive issues, a
Oh,
lot
for
of
sure. I could
digestive issues.
imagine.
And so, yeah, I mean, I was eating a whole pizza to my head on a regular basis, like at least 3 or 4 times per week, and like a large pizza and Little Caesars on top of it too.
So, like a lot of dough and a lot of junk that your body, no nutrition, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And I was starving during that time for nutrition, but I wasn't getting it. And so this is one of the dilemmas with people who can't stop eating is their body is craving for certain nutrients so bad that it will eat insatiably to try to locate them. And we're tricked because a lot of these processed foods, they are so delicious and tasty the way that they've put them together chemically
Hmm.
that our brain is, and this goes haywire and this continues to do it without thinking. And so that's where coming onto a whole foods diet makes like such a big difference is because we're getting back to that natural state of satiety and making sure that we're satiated with the foods that we're consuming. And that's one of the main pillars of our program is making sure that people can understand when they're full or when they're like at least like when they're about 70% full and they still could go another 30%, but they're like, I feel good right now and I don't
Hmm.
need that. And so that was something that it takes a little bit of time and paying attention to and actually being aware of the body.
You probably didn't even, I always say this, people don't know they feel bad or horrible until they start really feeling better. So you started, stopped eating the pizza, stopped eating the breads and the junk food, and started eating the new diet of whole foods and nutrition and protein.
Hmm.
And I would imagine you started, besides losing weight, I'm just thinking mentally and physically how you felt. Because I know if I ever ate some junk food, I know what I feel like. I feel like crap.
Hmm.
I am unhappy. I'm mentally not there. I do get and I very rarely will do that. I remember in college, I have to go back, 40 years, you know, we'd be on a road trip and the only place to go was McDonald's. And I knew I was going to feel like crap. I've been very fortunate. I was
Hmm.
raised in a household where my mother saw how she was raised and saw what was happening to our generation of fast foods and would never allow us to eat it
Hmm.
and kept, homemade cooked meals and taught us how to cook with vegetables. So it's interesting because I see people that have these junk food diets, and I just, I can't help everybody, but if they could just change it and see how much better you feel, and you really are, again, a true testament to that, to how it can help your brain, your stomach, your gut, everything, your
Hmm.
sleep. That's the number one thing we're going back to, not only brain
Hmm.
fog and fatigue and being overweight, but really getting your proper sleep and avoiding these chemical
Hmm.
and environmental toxins that could be affecting everything in your system.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to a point that you were talking about a little earlier about the McDonald's situation. Um, you don't really understand how foods are affecting you until you've been clean for a while, and then you see the effect that they have on your system once you've been cleaned up. So it had been about 4 years since I had consumed McDonald's. I was out with my dog and we had traveled to an area to go and enjoy some beautiful nature space. And my dog decided to get sprayed by a skunk while we were out camping. And so I decided, okay, I got to backtrack and go back to my house area so that I can get him cleaned up. So I have a pickup truck, and he was in the back of my pickup truck, and I wasn't in a very good mood, and I decided to stop at McDonald's on the way back to my house. And so I was already really tired. I was really hungry. I didn't have anything that was easy to make while I was on the way back. And I said, okay, I'm just I got two egg and sausage McMuffins. And so I got these McMuffins and I ate them, and they were very delicious and satiating at the time. And this was something that I hadn't had in around at least 3.5, 4 years. And so I consumed them. I got home. I scrubbed my dog down. I did everything that I could for him. I went to sleep. And I had the most horrific dreams that night. And it was this very highly emotionally charged, very terrifying type of dreams. And I think that a lot of the time people are having nightmares and it's really affecting their overall sleep quality. And I
Mm.
woke up this feeling so fatigued and felt like I got put in a pillowcase and beaten. And yeah, this such a wake up call for me to really realize the way that had been affecting me. And I realized that when I was in my dirty eating stages, that I would have nightmares almost every night,
Mm.
very
Interesting.
terrifying nightmares. And I would just wake up and I'd feel like this so fatigued and tired. And to people who are waking up and they're completely out of it, to wake up and to feel rejuvenated and to feel like, oh, I feel good right now.
Mm.
I feel rested. It's like a miracle going from difficult sleep and like really struggling with the after effects, like feeling like you woke up with a hangover
Hmm.
to going to that clean state. It's life changing what it starts to do. And so if you feel that truthfully, like I would highly encourage you to give it a try and to start to work with these practices and to just take care of yourself and to see the results, journal about it, track your results. Don't be blind to what you're experiencing and be like, oh, I'm not getting really big results right away. Like, yeah, you've spent 15, 20, 50 years possibly digging this hole that you're in. And so it takes a little bit of time, but
Yeah.
you will see results for sure.
Yeah, that was, I'm so glad you brought all that up because uh, the you saw what it did to your sleep. You saw what it did to your body and how it can change your whole mindset having these items, food items in your body that are your body is just working harder and harder and harder to try to process all of this food without any nutrients. So
Mhm.
I just was sitting here kind of visualizing that a little bit. Just it's like putting bad gas in your car, going back to the car again, putting bad things in your car. Your car's going to sputter, and listening to your body. Your body is telling you things. You ended up having all these nightmares. Your body is so smart, and we are so fortunate to have such incredibly um, complex bodies, but listen to these signs and pay attention to them. I mean, they go on and on and on. It could be acne, it could be
Mhm.
diabetes, it could be, sleepless behaviors too. So I just want to stress the pay attention to signals that your body
Mhm.
is giving you. It's so important because the sooner you pay attention to those signals, the easier it is going to try to heal or
Mhm.
change you went through. I mean, the decades long about what you've gone through is just, how old are you? I can ask you because I'm much older than you are.
Yes.
Guess?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, let me guess. I'm gonna say 40.
I'm 38. I think you're
Oh,
guessing because of my experience, but
uh, I was pretty good. Okay.
yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say that there's quite a few different ways that your body can detox, but the main ones are number one, number two, and breathing, making sure you're taking some deep breaths and you're exposing yourself to good oxygen. And the one that's not talked about enough, I think, is sweating, is
Mm,
making sure that you are sweating good
right.
and that you're taking in good quality electrolytes. It's
That too.
absolutely critical. It deals with all of the electrical conductivity throughout our entire system, and it allows our brain to be able to fire on all cylinders and allows all of the biological functions to be able to happen throughout the system. And we deplete salts and other electrolytes when we sweat, but it's the only way that you can actually get microplastics out of your system. And so it's absolutely critical. You can also do plasma donations if you want to get microplastics out of your system, but
Oh,
that's a
didn't
little
know
more
that.
complicated. Yeah, it's they filter them out when they do the plasma collection, and it can also help save people's lives as well.
Yeah,
So that's something a fun fact that most people don't know about, but
did not know.
the sauna is absolutely critical. If people can do it at least once per week, if not like 2 to 3 times per week, and I would suggest that people go to about 70 to 80% of their capacity. Don't go much past that, and you build up over time, over doing it for a while, and it'll make it so that your skin is super clear. It'll make it so that you release this so many of these different things that we breathe in that you really can't get out any other way,
Hmm.
things that we're consuming. And so like our bodies they need to sweat. So even if you don't sweat much, you should still just like take it easy in the sauna the first couple times you do it. Go exercise, do some cardio, wear some layers. Don't be scared of sweating. Drink some water with electrolytes, and it's going to make such a tremendous difference in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Infrared sauna. I was just gonna go up and take one right after we hang up here.
Ah, oh,
I
it's
know the feeling after is just like, oh, you feel like all these great toxins are just coming out of your system. I love it.
Mhm.
So, do you just work with night shift clients, Lucas?
So primarily, yes, I do take on select life coaching clients besides that. If individuals are in strong need, I definitely do consultations and I kind of take a look at their overall lifestyle to
Okay.
see if there is some things that we can help with. 99% of the time, we definitely can help to some extent. We can definitely at least provide resources, if not full on coaching experiences. And so, yeah, I do have programs that I've set up for individuals who are serious about making changes in their lives. And yeah, it's my pleasure to help people be their best selves.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I know your niche is night shift clients. because I mean, what they have to do to take care of the medical community, the community of people in hospitals and what they have to go through to take care of their bodies I mean, I always thought about that, the night shift people in hospitals and how hard that is because they're really running the hospitals while we all sleep and we need them in 24 hours. So you're doing great, great things. And I congratulate you on all that you have accomplished. I look forward to connecting with you again down the road and stay in touch. I am just so happy that we came together and I got you on the podcast and so much informative information. And keep doing what you're doing because you're helping a lot of people. And that's what we need. We need more people like you to help people out there to help them with their problems that they're having and their issues because unfortunately not all the doctors out there are trained for the figuring out the root cause and unfortunately our pharmaceutical industry is shoving these medications down our throats and making us believe that's the only way to go and it's not. So
Hmm.
there is hope out there and I appreciate all that you're doing.
Of course, I appreciate what you're doing. It's a beautiful podcast that you have, and the intention behind what you're doing is beautiful, and I'm very grateful for that. We definitely need more information out there on different methods that people can take care of themselves. And this is the difference between Western medicine and general wellness is it's the
Yeah,
way that we take care of our bodies. And the hospital is there for emergencies. It's if we have an accident or some kind of a very strange mishap that shouldn't be happening. But overall, we should be healthy if we're taking care of ourselves. And this should
absolutely.
be the new norm that we're trying to head to as a species is that we're taking care of ourselves and we know how to take care of ourselves and we pass these practices down to our children and to the people around us without shame and without any kind of reservation. If people are struggling with a symptom and a problem, and there's a simple solution to it, it's lovely to be able to share that information. So just take care of your families, take care of your loved ones, and the people around you, and just realize we're all like brothers and sisters out here, and that we need to treat each other like a tribe because we are all one people at the end of the day. And
So true.
yeah.
So true. And we all want to live healthy, happy, long lives. And our bodies, we need to pay attention and take care of them as best we can. So, anyways, thank you so much for coming on. And I look forward to seeing you down the road, as I said before. And read your ingredients and know your labels. And namaste.
Namaste.